When you're building your fragrance collection, one of the best investments that you can make is in a fragrance that is fresh and clean. There's never a bad time to smell fresh and clean, which makes these fragrances a great option, but some of them take it a step further and they give you some warmth and depth to go along with that freshness. So today I'm going to share 6 of my favorite fresh fragrances that also have some warmth and depth that make them extremely versatile and worth the money. So if you're interested in seeing what those fragrances are, stay tuned. YouTube family, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all are doing well. My name is Ty, and here I primarily talk about fragrances, but we also sprinkle in some fashion and lifestyle content as well. So primary purpose is to help you show up as your best self consistently. That's day in and day out by looking good, smelling good, and feeling good. Y'all know the vibes, man. So do me a favor. If you're interested in those type of videos or that type of content, consider subscribing below, then make sure you hit the bell so you can stay notified anytime I post any new content. Okay, y'all, getting things kicked off with this one, we have Parfums Vintage Amaranthine. This one actually is a clone of MFK's Harmonist Own, the EDT version, which, quite honestly, y'all, I believe that's an underrated and slept on profile. I really enjoy that fragrance, hence the reason I picked this one up. Slightly better price, right? So what do you get with this one, right? You get this Sicilian orange, you also get, some rosemary in the opening, so it's going to give you this citrusy, fresh, slightly sweet, but herbal freshness that smells really good. Again, uplifting, very clean, easy to wear. But as this one starts to dry down, that's where it gets interesting, right? And it gives it that versatility. So you have iris in this one. You also have some woody notes like cedar and amyris, which is very similar to sandalwood. So you got the iris, you got the woody notes, and then you also get some tonka bean and I believe saffron in the base. And I think you even get a chocolate note in here. So again, a lot of different things going on, but all in all, what you get with this one is a clean fragrance that works year round for any season, any situation, from school to work to happy hour, date, anything in between. This one's going to work for you. You're going to smell clean, be able to wear it all year round, but again, still be relatively unique. Okay, next up we have Afnan's Turathi Bleu, which of course is inspired by Bulgari's Tiger, which I haven't smelled, but I've been saying this one here smells a lot like Goldfinner Bake's Ingenious Ginger to me. And I'll continue to say that. Like I said, that's what it reminds me most of in terms of what I have smelled. You get that citrusy, specifically grapefruit in the opening, kind of a ginger, fresh spice as it starts to dry down. And then in the far dry down, you get amber in here. But again, comes off as a warmer, slightly sweet, almost like vanilla touch. So very, very versatile fragrance. One that, like I said, is easy to wear, to smell fresh and clean, but also again, give you that depth as it starts to dry down to work in a number of different situations, seasons, and scenarios. And y'all, I always say with this one, or I have been saying with this one, when you're thinking about bang for buck for cheaper fragrances, there's only a few that really come to mind that can even compete with this one, but very good bang for your buck when, thinking about what you get with this one from a value perspective. So all in all, I think it's an amazing fragrance to smell fresh and clean, while still giving you some depth and versatility. And it's none other than Afnan's Turathi Bleu. Okay, next up is a classic, y'all, an OG, one of my absolute favorites, will always hold a special place in my heart. We have Chanel's Bleu de Chanel. This is the EDP version, which is my favorite. So I remember when this first came out, I don't know how many bottles I went through, y'all, but I literally wore this every day for everything. So I believe I was in college at the time, so whether going to class, working, going out on dates, everything in between, always was rocking this one. And relatively simplistic scent, but it just does it so well. And at the time when this one came out, I don't know, it was the best smelling thing I had ever smelled. That's all I remember whenever I put my nose on this one the first time. So you get citruses, different woody notes, and get cedar and sandalwood in here, with some amber, some vanilla, some tonka bean in a dry down. So again, you got the citrus freshness, the woodiness to give it some depth, but also that warmth and sweetness from the amber vanilla. And it's blended to perfection. So an amazing fragrance, one that is truly timeless in my, humble opinion, in terms of standing the test of time that it already has and will continue to do. It's just a fragrance I love, y'all. One I'll always have in my collection. Always say this one is easy to wear, versatile. It's sophisticated, but it's sexy. it again does everything, right? So can, you know, work for any situation or any scenario, any reason. Definitely recommend checking this one out if for some reason you haven't already. Classic for a reason. Okay, y'all, next up we have Mancera Cedrat Boise. So again, great fragrance that smells fresh, clean, but still very versatile and can give you some, you know, depth and warmth because of what's in here. So essentially what you get with this one, y'all, you have some citruses in the opening, you get black currant, you get a slight spicy touch as well. I know jasmine's also listed. I think there may be other florals, but don't get a huge, you know, floral touch. You do get that slight, you know, floral edge just to, you know, kind of help and add and bolster to that freshness. But as it dries down, again, you get that added complexity that really makes this one versatile. So you get, you know, woody notes, you get vanilla, you also get a touch of leather in here, which is nice. So very, very minor, not at all, you know, noticeable or anything that overtakes the fragrance. But again, just adds to that depth, the warmth, and the wearability for this specific scenario that we're talking about. So fresh and clean in the opening, can wear it, you know, year round for any situation or season. But again, though fresh and clean, you also still get that warmth, that depth, and a slight edge and interesting touch with the leather and the dry down. So all in all, one that is, you know, spoken about often, and I think for good reason, especially when you factor in the price that you can usually find this one for. So I definitely recommend checking out Mancera's Cedrat Boise. Okay, y'all, we only have a couple fragrances remaining, and this next one, unfortunately, is now a discontinued gem. So we have YSL's Y Le Parfum. Of course, this is the original formulation. This one was reformulated this year, or it might have been last year in 2024. I can't remember, but man, this OG, it was, I don't know, it was just the perfect option because I feel like the EDT was relatively light. EDP was a bit, you know, too sweet and overwhelming in my opinion, and this was like the perfect balance. So really glad I have a full bottle in my collection. But essentially what you get with this one, y'all, if you're not familiar with it, you get the, you know, apple in the opening mixed with these aldehydes. So very fresh, light, breezy, fruity opening. But then again, similar to Bleu de Chanel, as it starts to dry down, you get, you know, some woody notes, but you also get this ambery, tonka bean, sort of vanilla feel in the dry down. So has that sweetness, has the freshness in the opening. So this one does it all, y'all. It's fresh, it's clean, but it's also warm and sweet. Can wear it year round for any situation, any scenario, any reason. Would say check it out, but again, has been reformulated. So I would say instead, probably would opt for the EDP. It is a little sweeter and a little loud, a little more loud just in general, but all in all, scent profile is very similar. So this one here is Y Le Parfum in the original formulation. Okay, y'all, last but not least, we have the most unique one of this entire list, and it's none other than the Harmonist Sun Force. And man, oh man, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you all know how much I love this one. So very unique, but still keeps that freshness mixed with kind of some warmth and depth, and it achieves it in a different way. So it opens up with some pomelo and rose, and that's going to give you this sort of citrusy floral freshness. But man, oh man, as this one starts to dry down, y'all, you get honey, you get benzoin, you get saffron. I believe incense is listed in here, right? Also some cardamom. So again, a really unique mix of notes for a fragrance that's, you know, relatively versatile and, like I said, fresh, but still has some warmth and depth to it. And it just smells absolutely amazing, y'all. This one is stunning. It's vibrant, but it's still elegant and also sensual. It's a fragrance I love, right? It's one that works well for so many different situations and reasons. And though it is, like I said, versatile and does smell really good and is one that people do enjoy and brings compliments, still unique. And I think that's what I appreciate most about this one. So rounding out the list, we have the Harmonist, and it's none other than Sun Force. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what are some of your favorite fresh, clean, versatile fragrances, and be sure to subscribe for weekly fragrance content.